Olá, pessoal, bem-vindos ao SAVE Lives Brasil. Hoje teremos o professor Bernd Böttiger, professor titular do Departamento de Anestesiologia e Terapia Intensiva da Universidade de Colônia, na Alemanha. Estamos muito felizes porque o professor Bernd é muito querido, é nosso mentor do SAVE Lives Brasil e também um dos mentores do World Restart a Heart Day. É um grande prazer e o professor aqui é uma honra para nós. Professor Bernd, thank you very much for your participation in this live. Here in Brazil, we are very much excited to hear you about the Kids Save Lives and the World Restart Heart. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Naomi, and all your colleagues in Brazil and in South America. It is a great pleasure for me to be with you today for the Kids Save Lives and World Restart a Heart activities. And I'm more than happy to present you within the next hour what we have done over the last years with regard to these topics. I'm from the University of Cologne in Germany. We have nice weather today. The sun is shining. And I'm the chair of the Department of Anestesiology and Intensive Care Medicine here at the University Hospital in Cologne. I'm dealing with cardiac arrest and cardiopulmonary resuscitations for many years. And I would like to start my presentation now. And before I start, just one question, Naomi and colleagues, can you hear me? And is everything okay with the techniques?
Yes, that's perfect, Professor. Thank you.
Perfect. So then we start with the presentation. We need to change a little bit something here at the monitor. But now we have started, and I would like to start with a video that we have produced with some students in one of our universities here in Cologne. And this video is about pranking. But don't be afraid, this is only a video. This is all with actors. This is not reality, but it is very eye-opening. And I would like to start the video right now. I will start it right now, okay? With some sound. It is in German, but it has English subtitles. So please look at the subtitles.
Ich bin's, euer Flo. Ich habe heute was ganz Besonderes für euch. Wir pranken heute meine Schwester Marina. Und dazu habe ich mir tatkräftige Unterstützung ins Boot geholt. Und Papa! Hallo! Wir haben was Schönes gekocht und überall in der Wohnung Kameras aufgestellt. Und wenn die Marina gleich von der Vorlesung nach Hause kommt, wird der Papa in die Küche gehen und einen Herzinfarkt vortäuschen. Wir sind gespannt, wie die Marina reagiert. Und hoffen und wünschen euch viel Spaß. Ich muss die noch ein bisschen weiter nachlesen. Ja, siehst du die noch oder wie? So? Okay, perfekt. Hi, hier drüben.
Hey, war super, ich hab schon Hunger.
Ja, mein Kopf ist ein Ding.
Das riecht übrigens. Bestimmt. Ja, ist gut, aber überraschend.
Okay, dann lass uns erst mal essen. Was wir gesehen haben, da kann ich jetzt eigentlich schon.
Alles okay?
Ja.
Das war so anstrengend, Uni.
Ja.
Aber ich kann dem Prof heute überhaupt nicht folgen. Also wir hatten Anatomie.
Ja.
Ja, auch von mir.
Okay.
Aber ich glaube, keiner hat verstanden. Alles okay? Papa? Papa! Ich glaube, oder?
Ja, was ist nicht.
Ja, ist doch was. So lange was zu tun gehabt. Kann ich mal.
Eigentlich ein ernstes Thema, denn es kann jeden treffen. Allein in Deutschland sterben jährlich bis zu 70.000 Menschen an Folgen eines Herzstillstands.
60% der Fälle passieren zu Hause.
Nur jeder Dritte greift an. Dabei ist Helfen so einfach. Informiert euch auf www.wiederbelebung.de.
Okay, and this is the topic for today. It's about kids save lives. And this video we are using for starting educating school children because it is very attractive to them to see that it is not a very comfortable situation if you don't know what to do if someone has a cardiac arrest. So this is our Kids Save Lives logo. You probably have seen it as Kids Save Lives Brazil already also in South America. And this is our World Restart a Heart logo. And I will come back to both very soon. So what touched me most over the last 10 years in my professional life, that was when I met Nick and Kea together with her parents. And when I heard the story that Nick had a cardiac arrest in a school nearby Cologne, and it was during the big break, and many teachers and school children were around, and he was in ventricular fibrillation, and they called the emergency services, but the emergency services took more than 10 minutes to come, and all the people around did nothing. But fortunately, Kea, when she was 16 years old during these days, she was trained from the age of 8 years on by the German Red Cross, and she knew very well how to do cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And she took her friend and they went to Nick, who was lying down on the floor, and they started cardiac compressions and ventilations with Nick. And they did it in a so good way that he already opened his eyes. Then they were a little bit afraid and stopped CPR, but then his situation deteriorated again and he went into blue color of the skin, and they started again. They did it for more than 10 minutes and then the EMS took over. Nick survived in very good conditions. He is now again one of the best in his class. And when they were both sitting in my office together with her parents, that was the most touching moment, because we all knew that he would not have been alive anymore if Kea would not have been trained in cardiopulmonary resuscitation as a child. And that was a very huge impact on my motivation to bring resuscitation into the schools. And that's what we did over the last years. And this is one of our German national events 4 years ago in Berlin with our health minister. I will come back to this very soon. But what I would like to already mention now is that always when we are training school children, the sun is shining. So we obviously have also some support from heaven, I would say. Of what will we die in so-called industrialized nations? You can see here that out-of-hospital cardiac arrest is the third leading cause of death in our countries. And in the European Union, we have 350,000 unsuccessful CPRs per year. This is 1,000 every day, 1,000 dead people every day. This is as if 2 jumbo jets would crash down every day during the whole year in Europe without any survivors. That is the underlying healthcare problem that we have. And for Brazil, it's probably about 150 or maybe 200,000. So it's just 1 jumbo jet every day. Every day, so many people are dying because of cardiac arrest with unsuccessful or too late cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And it's totally easy to change this picture all over the world. The inventors of modern cardiopulmonary resuscitation, Couvenhoven and Knickerbocker, already stated in the 60s that all is needed to resuscitate a patient is 2 hands. And that is very good news, because you don't need to be a doctor or a nurse or a paramedic to resuscitate someone successfully, the only thing that is needed is 2 hands. And what is most important, we have some kind of time window for lay resuscitation, because in my country, the emergency medical service systems arrive on scene after 9 or 10 minutes, or maybe sometimes later. But unfortunately, the brain can survive for only 3 to 5 minutes. So there is a time window for lay resuscitation. And if lay people start doing cardiopulmonary resuscitation within 3 to 5 minutes, survival rate is 3 times higher. So we have 3 times more survivors with lay resuscitation. This is in the guidelines all over the world since 2015. It is added that also telephone CPR, if the dispatch center is telling the caller how to do cardiac compressions and cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So dispatch center CPR can also help lay people to start with cardiopulmonary resuscitation and bridge the time until the EMS is on scene. Telephone CPR has a number needed to treat of 7, so you need to do it 7 times to save 1 life. In Germany, unfortunately, we do not have telephone CPR all over the country, and I hope you have it in Brazil and all the countries in South America. It is at least a major goal to achieve. We know this is the chain of survival. This is the old chain of survival, and much more important is the new chain of survival, which with very marked first change, like early recognition and call for help and early CPR. This is much more important than as compared to what we do after the arrival of the emergency medical services or in hospital. So the early chains of the chain of survival are most important. And that is the basis for World Restart a Heart and for Kids Save Lives. And I would like to show you these 5 big animals, and you probably know that they are called the Big 5. And we have very recently published a paper on the Big 5 strategies for survival following out of hospital cardiac arrest. And the Big 5 to increase survival are lay resuscitation, telephone CPR, first responder systems, experienced ALS teams, and cardiac arrest centers. And please remember the new chain of survival. And here is where Kids Save Lives and World Restart a Heart helps with increasing lay resuscitation, with telephone CPR, and maybe also with many other things. Where did we start some years ago, already 7 years ago in Germany? Look here. Lay resuscitation rates are 20% or below. In many Scandinavian countries, already 7 years ago, lay resuscitation rates were higher than 50 or 60%. And that is our goal, to have higher lay resuscitation rates to bridge the time until the emergency medical service systems arrive. So we had a political challenge during these days. And what helped us to motivate ourselves and our politicians was a publication, wait a moment, was a publication from Denmark over a 10 years period, national initiatives to improve cardiac arrest management and with rates of bystander intervention and survival after out of hospital cardiac arrest. And as you can see here, in 21, they started, as we did in 2013 in Germany, with a lay resuscitation rate of 20%. And then they educated all their people in Denmark. And then they also implemented mandatory education in resuscitation in all schools in Denmark in 2005. And this increased lay resuscitation rates to bridge until emergency medical service system arrival up to 40%. And in the meantime, they are over 60 and close to 70%. And this induces a threefold increase in survival in all out-of-hospital cardiac arrest patients in Denmark. This is threefold increase in survival in a very deadly entity and illness. And the only thing that is needed is 2 hands. It is extremely cheap, it is extremely effective, and we do not have any other therapies in cardiac arrest, in cancer, or in other cardiovascular diseases that increase survival within 10 years by threefold. As at least I do not know any. So threefold increase in survival going out of hospital cardiac arrest with lay resuscitation and increasing the rates of lay resuscitation. So this is a political success, and this is a blueprint for what we are doing in Germany, in Europe, in Brazil, in South America, and all around the world. If we would achieve the same, that means 60% lay resuscitation rates in Germany, that would mean 10,000 lives per year 10,000 people will survive in addition per year in Germany. For Europe, it's probably 100,000 lives per year in addition. For Brazil, it's probably 25,000 lives per year in addition. And for the whole world, it is much more than 300,000 lives. That is our calculation. And the only thing that lay people need to do is check, call, and compress. This is a civic duty, we say, so check for signs of life, call the emergency, and do cardiac compressions. Ventilation is not always needed, at least not during the first 10 minutes, and an AED is also not needed if you are doing very good chest compressions. And this is underlined by another publication that came out last year in Circulation from Sweden. They were comparing standard cardiopulmonary resuscitation, including ventilation, or chest compression only before arrival of the emergency medical services. So the question was, is compression only CPR without ventilation for lay people to bridge until EMS survival enough? These are the baseline variables, and you can see here first rhythm, ventricular tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation on arrival of the emergency medical service system with standard CPR, including ventilation, or compression only CPR, no difference. And the lay resuscitation rate in Scandinavia is already last year was more than 70% with standard CPR and more than 85%. This is just outstanding and great and brilliant with compression only CPR, so a little bit higher with compression only, as you can see here. And now look at 30-day survival without any CPR. So they waited until the emergency medical service came in. Survival was only 5.8%, but with any kind of CPR, including ventilation or just chest compression only CPR, the survival rate was over 13%, and there was no difference between compression only CPR and standard CPR. And this table is a little bit small, but I have made it a little bit bigger for you. So when the response time was until 4 minutes or until 9 minutes, so standard CPR and compression only CPR had both a very impressive positive effect on survival. And only if the response time was more than 10 minutes, compression only CPR was worse than standard CPR. So the summary is that check, call, compress without any ventilation is most helpful if the emergency medical service need 10 minutes or less until arrival at the patient. So for this time, there is still enough oxygen in the blood, so you only need to do cardiac compressions and no ventilations in most of the cases, only if the emergency medical service systems took a little bit longer. It is obviously much more helpful to always do ventilations, but even if it's longer than 10 minutes, check, call, compress without ventilations is much better than doing nothing. So check, call, compress is the message that is going out in Germany and all over the world. You will see it later. During our World Restart a Heart activities, and check for signs of life, call the emergency, and compress, doing cardiac compressions is also the primary message that we are teaching to our children and young people in schools and elsewhere. So this is check for signs of life, call the emergency, and doing right chest compressions. Very fast, very deep. With educating school children, we started in Cologne during the German Resuscitation Council Congress and the European Resuscitation Council Congress 11 years ago. This is the town hall in Cologne. It was, as far as I know, the first mass event of school children training in CPR. You can see the clothes of the children are a little bit older. They would never take these clothes today. And you also see they are all extremely enthusiastic, and we were in the television in the evening all over Germany with this. In the meantime, we also have published, it's also available in English language, a curriculum for school children education in CPR by the German Resuscitation Council. This is the website where you can download this. And we also have developed an educational course for teachers that is 4 hours. And after the 4 hours, the teachers can teach cardiopulmonary resuscitation to the children by themselves. And it is at least as effective as if any medical personnel would do this. This is also available in English language on the website of the German Resuscitation Council. Then we approached the European Parliament in 2012 because we have asked them for signatures for more attention on the healthcare issue, cardiac arrest and cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And we wanted to help, to ask them for help for some kind of European Awareness Week or European Restart a Heart Day. And luckily we had received the signatures of 400 members of the European Parliament that have signed. This is the European Commissioner on Health in 2012. And then this is again the European Commissioner on Health, so one of the highest European Parliament representatives. And you probably remember these young people here. This is Nick, who had the cardiac arrest at the age of 12 years. This is Kia, who resuscitated him successfully. And some years ago, together we showed the European Commission on Health how to do CPR, and this was also very effective to motivate our politicians. Then in 2013, we had the first European Restart a Heart Day with the support of the European Parliament. And the motto already during these days was children saving lives. And then we also went to the World Health Organization in Geneva and asked them for their support for our concept of, then later named Kids Save Lives. And the concept is 2 hours of CPR, of cardiopulmonary resuscitation training per year in all schools from class 7 on. This is in my country about 10 to 12 years of age of the school children and students. And then in 2015, we have received a personalized letter from the World Health Organization. And I can tell you that I'm still very proud of this, because it's not so very often that you will receive a personalized letter from the World Health Organization. And it says they support worldwide our concept of Kids Save Lives, our concept of training school children in cardiopulmonary resuscitation for 2 hours per year, starting at the age of 10 or 12 years, as long as they go to school. And then with the European Restart a Heart Day, we had every year, and in 2016, then we had again the motto focusing on children, and now it says Kids Save Lives here. In the meantime, this is a map of Europe. You can see that we have achieved, with many colleagues in the European Resuscitation Council, that it is by law, a legislation in 6 European countries. It's mandatory that school children are educated in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and it is at least a suggestion in further 24 countries. So we have been very active and very successful in Europe already. We have also published an ERC position statement on school children education in cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And now I need to go to my other computer and show and try to start again the audio.
Did you know cardiac arrest is the rarest cause of death in the world? Surviving to a cardiac arrest is primarily untrue, and all of us, we all can do something. Like what? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation can save a life. Today, you can learn CPR also in your school. You just need to know 10 fundamental principles. Everyone can save a life. Even children can save a life. Up to 2 hours of CPR training a year for school children is enough. Theory is important, but so is practice. To learn CPR, you can use ordinary everyday objects. Annual training of school children should start by the age of 12 years or earlier. Teaching CPR can also be a fun assignment, so that you can share what you have learned with those who are close to you, parents, brothers and sisters, and friends. You can learn CPR in many places and from many different teachers. The governmental institutions should support CPR national programs, and every National Resuscitation Council should do the same, promoting the Kids Save Lives campaign. Learning how to save a life means growing up and becoming more responsible within your community, but also helping your own country grow, supporting those who strive for our health. So, saving a life is child's play, and we can all give a hand.
Okay, saving a life, I'm always saying, is child's play also for adults. This was a video from the Italian colleagues from the Italian Resuscitation Council. And now another educational video that we sometimes use in the kindergarten and in schools. You can download all this from our websites. And again, I need to start it on my separate computer.
Quick is kneeling down, her fingers locked together, and she is pressing down on her friend's chest in time with the music. She presses down again and again. Come on, quick, keep going. At last, in the distance, she hears the voice of Nina, the siren bird.
Okay, so this is really exciting, and all the children like most of our material very much. And this is again the start of our national initiative in Berlin, in Germany. And as already said, we always have nice weather. This was during these days our German Minister on Health and many representatives of many different leading organizations, cardiology, anesthesiology, intensive care medicine. And you also can see here, this is Nick and this is Kea. He's already a little bit taller because this was through 3 or 4 years after his cardiac arrest. They are always helping us with our campaigns. This is one of our TV stars who is interviewing our Minister on Health. And we in Germany, we say, you can save a life. All that you need to do is check, call, compress. Prüfen, rufen, drücken means check, call, compress. Nice weather in Berlin, National Initiative for Lay and School Children CPR. This is our health minister in the school of Nick and Kea some years ago. And this lady was resuscitated in her school. She was 15 years old and suffered cardiac arrest from a Brugada syndrome. And she was resuscitated by other school children and teachers that have been trained in the morning of this event by some colleagues from mine. So all these stories are very impressive and very touching, and educating school children in CPR is really a very motivating thing. It's a lot of fun. And as you can see here again, it's also very, very effective. And we are also did this in Italy. This is Italy, and you can see This is the Parliament of Italy when they decided upon a legislation on school children education and resuscitation. Again, the sun is shining. This is Cologne during the Carnival, and I remember that you also have the Carnival in Brazil and in South America. This is Turkey, where the Turkish anesthesiologist trained many people, and this is Greece. Again, the sun is shining. Greece Kids Save Lives. You can see many, many happy people. This is in Hungary last year, in one of the major cities of Hungary. Again, the sun is shining when we have trained 500 school children in CPR. This is our Kids Save Lives logo. And in the meantime, times have changed, we all know, and all around the world. And therefore, we have modified our Kids Save Lives logo a little bit, because educating school children during the time of pandemia is probably a little bit different. You need to use more videos and more distant learning, but educating school children in CPR should also perform during this pandemic. Question is, did this help in Germany? And as you can see here, 2012, 2011, 2010, lay resuscitation rates below 20%. And after we started together with the German anesthesiologists and the German Resuscitation Council, we started our national initiatives, and CPR rates, cardiopulmonary lay resuscitation rates increased until 2018 to a little bit less than 40%. Our goal is this year 50%. I'm not sure whether we will reach this because of the pandemic, but maybe next year we can reach this. This is a political success, and it means already that over these very few 5-6 years, we have reached a situation where we saved 7,000 additional lives per year, every year in Germany. And that was a brief statement on Kids Save Lives, and I would like now to come to the next part of my presentation, which is World Restart a Heart. And the World Restart a Heart Day came out of the European activities we had. As you have seen, we had the support from the European Parliament, and we started with our European Restart a Heart Day in the year 2013 with the motto Children Saving Lives. And then I have asked the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation with representatives from all around the world in 2017. I have asked them to do it not only in Europe, but all around the world. And this was the birthday of our World Restart a Heart initiative. And again, I would like to show you the video. And for this, I also need to activate again my other computer. And this is, you can download all these materials and videos also from the website of the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation. And please enjoy this video now.
On the 16th of October, we will be celebrating World Restart a Heart Day.
Some cardiac risks are third leading cause of death worldwide. This initiative on behalf of the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation
is intended to raise awareness of the importance of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, otherwise known as CPR.
is a system of call for the emergency services and start CPR, pressing hard and fast at the center of the chest.
Learn how to save a life and make sure those around you learn as well.
It only takes 2 hands to save a life.
So this is World Restart a Heart. And we started in 2017. The first publication to motivate all the people around the world was done in 2018, also in the Lancet. And then these are the results of World Restart a Heart 2018. More than 675 lay people trained in cardiopulmonary resuscitation in 2018. And this is one of our meetings we had with colleagues from all around the world, also in 2018. So the objectives have been to have some kind of an awareness day every year on the 16th of October. By the way, the 16th of October is also the World Anesthesia Day, because in 1846, the first ether anesthesia was performed in Boston, Massachusetts on October 16. And we said that the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation will share resources and use regional councils to take part. And I can tell you that ILCOR and we are extremely thankful, happy, and proud that there are so many activities in Brazil and in South America in the meantime. We also said that October 16 is not essential, but this day should be used for media promotion. All the activities can also be performed in the weeks before and after October 16. And World Restart a Heart has a focus on Kids Save Lives, but it is not limited to school children, but it's limited to lay people and other activities to increase survival following out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. We have a nice website where you can download posters in at least 26 languages in the meantime. This is the motto: all citizens of the world can save a life. October, that was the first in 2018. World Restart a Heart Day. This language you may probably recognize or you may not recognize. This is Singali from Sri Lanka. So we have more than 40 different posters with 40 different languages. And it is always about check, call, and compress, because this is the most effective thing. And check, call, compress can be trained within minutes and at least within 2 hours, but you can teach check, call, compress if it is needed also within 5 minutes, I would say. And very briefly and very fast, the activities in 2018 for the 7 councils of the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation. So this is Canada. They had a digital awareness campaign on social media, many impressions on social media. They had a video seen more than up to 300,000 times, and they trained 2,500 lay people in 2018. This is one of the events in Canada in 2018. Australia and New Zealand, they had a nationwide support from the Governor General, activities all across the country. In Australia, in New Zealand, they trained the parliament. They had activities on Facebook and Twitter, and a number estimated trained of 1,000 lay people. And this is Australia and New Zealand. And this, by the way, is the Prime Minister of Australia who supported World Restart a Heart in 2018 and also in 2019. In the US, the American Heart Association is our partner and one of the ILCOR member organizations. 8,000 people were trained live, and they had reached millions of people by social media and by Facebook. And as you can see, again, the sun is shining. In Asia, we had a lot of activities, not only in Japan and Korea and Singapore, but also in Taiwan and Hong Kong. And these are just very few impressions on that. And what was really very, very, very much impressive is the activities in India already 2018. In 2019, they topped this already. So more than 30,000 Indian Society of Anesthesiologists members actively participated as trainers. And the training was by the Indian Resuscitation Council. 191 city branches delivered training programs. And look at this, nearly 500,000 lay people have been trained during World Restart a Heart 2018 in India with check, call, compress. So a lot of people are sitting here. This is India. In the Arabic countries, most important activities have been in Saudi Arabia with 2,000 people trained, all on October 16 and around. There were also further activities in Oman, Jordan, and we have seen video clips in Arabic language with thousands of followers. So we are really very proud and thankful that our World Restart a Heart activity is now a real worldwide activity. Inter-America and South Africa, you will all remember that more than 1,300 people have been trained in Brazil during World Restart a Heart 2018. And we had during this year some perspectivities for Argentina and Peru. In South Africa, 10,000 people watched CPR videos and did CPR courses. And this is the Table Mountain in Cape Town, where we had last year our ILCORD General Assembly meeting. In Europe, more than 400,000 have been trained, mostly in England and United Kingdom, Belgium, in Germany, Romania, Slovenia, and Italy. And you probably all know where this is. This is the Colosseum in Roma in Italy, where our friends from the Italian Resuscitation Council trained a lot of lay people and had a lot of attention by their television agencies in Roma and in Italy. This is the dome in Cologne, where we did an event on the place before the dome with some support from the helicopter services that we have in Germany, and with these are students, a marching band from our students here from our medical faculty. We did a flash mob in front of the Duomo in Cologne. And what else did we saw in 2018, in 2019, and what will we expect in the further years to come? As said, the European Restart a Heart Day that was established in 2013, in 2017 and in 2018 it was established, became the ILCOR World Restart a Heart Day. And you have seen already these posters, and it took more than half a year to develop this logo. And the motto always, or the message that we are providing to the public is always check, call, and compress. And these are the numbers of Europe that you have already seen. So most people have been trained in UK, followed by Poland, Germany, and Italy. And this is the summary publication in Resuscitation last year, where we have reported the overall data from the World Restart a Heart Initiative in 2018. And already during these days, we were extremely happy and also very proud, because it is obviously a fact that this initiative will help many, many, many people around the world to survive who otherwise would not survive, because these lay people can bridge the time until the emergency medical services arrive. So remember the new chain of survival. And then in 2019, we are very thankful and proud that we were able to also motivate worldwide support by the WFSA. This is the World Federation of Societies of Anesthesiologists. And I also had the opportunity to speak to the president of the International Federation of the Red Cross. And I have been successful in convincing him that the International Federation of the Red Cross will participate, and they participated already in World Restart a Heart 2019. So this is the World Federation of Societies of Anesthesiologists. They sent out their resuscitation kits all over the world. And this is Francesco Rocco. He is the boss of the International Federation of the Red Cross. He's from Italy, and the International Federation of the Red Cross sent out their toolkits in 192 countries worldwide. And according to the information that we have, overall in the world, we have 194 countries. So only 2 countries were missing in 2019, last year's World Restart a Heart. So the outcomes of World Restart a Heart 2019, what was it? Social media impact, 206 million people reached worldwide, 5.4 million people trained in cardiopulmonary resuscitation with check, call, compress, check for signs of life, call the emergency services, and do cardiac compressions with 5 to 6 centimeters deep in adults with a frequency of 100 to 120 per minute. We have published already the results, these results, very recently in the Journal of the American Heart Association. And there is room to improve in 2020. Unfortunately, we all know that we have the pandemic right now. So we will not be able to train so many people as in 2019, but we are keen to get an even higher impact via social media. And we are working hard to top this number in 2020. By the way, Naomi, you will remember that we have this international group collaboration has received an award, a very prestigious award, the Ian Jacobs Award for International Group Collaboration in Resuscitation from the American Heart Association in 2019. Again, we are all very proud of this. So you can see representatives from many continents all around the world. And this is the publication in the Journal of the American Heart Association about World Restart a Heart 2019. 206 million people reached, over 5.4 million trained with check, call, compress, and these are the detailed results. Europe, Canada, Australia, you can download this paper. It is free on the website of the Journal of the American Heart Association and on the ILCO website. It's open access. American Heart Association, India, Sri Lanka, Brazil. You can see here close to 2,000 patients trained. Peru 4,000 patients trained, and this is the numbers reached by social media. So overall in 2019, again, more than 200 million reached, more than 5.4 million people trained. We are proud of this. What is planned in 2020? Build upon good, excellent work, maintain core message that bystander CPR rate needs to be increased because this is the most effective way to increase survival, overall survival, following the third leading cause of death in industrialized nations. Reach out to further regions, use messages from 2019 for global debate. And in this year, due to the pandemic, we have more virtual activities and social media activities worldwide. And our dream is to reach by social media more than 300 people worldwide this year. Please remember again the big five for survival. And at close to the end of my presentation, I would like to, I need to start my other computer again. I would like to share with you an audio which comes from London in United Kingdom. And here you will hear within the next minutes a very touching audio because a 4-year-old boy uses Siri to save his unconscious mother's life. So please enjoy and be touched by what you can hear.
Do you know what you did? Can you go to your mummy and shake her properly? It was a shake. Shout out, mummy. You can cry. Are you being carefully? Yes, carefully.
So this young boy, 4 years old, very cool, very efficient, very adequate, just did the right thing and called the emergency medical services by using Siri on the smartphone of his mother, and his mother survived. So that brings me to the conclusion that the first 2 steps of check, call, and compress, which is check and call, should already been taught in the kindergarten, because already 4-year-old people, 4-year-old children can do this. So this is Kids Save Lives. And what about Brazil? I had the privilege and the great honor to be invited to the Anesthesia Congress of the Anesthesia Society of Sao Paulo last year, where together with Naomi and many other colleagues, we have had the opportunity to train children from favelas in cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Maybe some of you have joined us there. And again, the children have been extremely enthusiastic. And this was a major event and a very touching event. And many of the children had tears in their eyes, and also we all had tears in our eyes. And this is also in Brazil, you probably remember, and this is the logo of Kids Save Lives Brazil. And I would like to use this very beautiful picture to summarize what I think and what we think should be done with children. And wait a moment, I need to start my other computer again. So what should be done with children? Our suggestion for kids is, please remember the 4-year-old boy from London. He already checked for signs of life and did a call to the EMS services. So you can start at the age of 4 years to do check and call. In the age of 10 to 12 years, children have enough physical power to also do compression. So we recommend starting with a year of 10 or 12 with check, call, and compress. And then when this is taught successfully, we start at the age of 14 or 16 years with ventilation and with the use of an AED. This is also exactly the concept that we have implemented in our school children curriculum from the German Resuscitation Council and into other curriculum for teachers, where we educated teachers. With this, I'm coming to the end of my presentation, and I have, I think, 2 more videos for you. And the first one you have already seen, so please listen again. And maybe once more. All that is needed to save a life is 2 hands. Thanks to all participating councils and countries all around the world. Within World Restart a Heart and Kids Save Lives. And I would like to share with you another video, because we are doing CPR not only on Earth, we are also doing it on space. And I'm really proud that we have the European Space Agency here in my hometown in Cologne, in Germany, and we have the honor to train all European astronauts that are going to the International Space Station, ISS. We are training them in emergency medicine and resuscitation for 6 days before they go to the space. And then I have asked them whether they can send us a video how they do and educate cardiopulmonary resuscitation in the space and from the space. And I have received, after 3 years of motivating them, I have received this video about 2 years ago. You can also download this from our websites And in many cases, we are using this video for educating school children, and please enjoy that video. It's just 2 or 3 minutes. It's from the International Space Station, and you will see an Italian astronaut. And here you can see Italy. Italy, this is Sardinia. Roma is probably anywhere here. This is World Restart a Heart. World Restart a Heart 2020 on October 16. We'll have many virtual activities with the motto, your 2 hands can save a life. I repeat, all that is needed is 2 hands. And we also have a World Restart a Heart project that is called My Song Can Save a Life, because many songs all around the world have a rhythm of 100 to 120 per minute. It is not only the song Staying Alive from the Bee Gees, but there are many songs around, and we have invited in Germany, and I know that you have invited in Brazil and in other countries of South America, many singers to help with their songs and to post on their websites that their song can save a life. So this is one of the projects that we are doing within World Restart a Heart this year. And with this, I would like to thank you very much with a picture from Cologne when the sun is shining. This is the Dome of Duomo, Dome of Cologne. And by the way, you probably recognize this is our Chancellor Merkel, and she also, in the meantime, has been educated in cardiopulmonary resuscitation and helps us a little bit in our activities with Kids Save Lives and with World Restart a Heart. This was last year in South Africa when we had our World Restart a Heart meeting. And it's our aim to save the hearts and brains of those who are too young to die. And with this, I cordially thank you very much, and I hope that you have understood everything what I have said and what I have presented. I would again like to thank Naomi and all your colleagues and all the technical assistants today to make this webinar possible. I'm extremely thankful, and I'm very proud of our collaboration that was already extremely successful, and that will, I'm sure, be very, very successful also in the future. Thank you very much, Naomi and colleagues, for all your activities in the state of Sao Paulo, in Brazil, in South America. This is really amazing. It is just brilliant what you have reached there. I'm happy to take some questions if there are any. So thank you very much.
Professor Bernd, we are very much motivated to participate in this World Restart Heart and also to the Kids Save Lives campaign. So thank you very much. I have one question for you, but I think that it's already answered. But what the age of children that can be trained? You said 4 years, but perhaps earlier we can give some songs of resuscitation. What do you think?
Well, thank you very much for this question. I mean, I would say 3-4 years is the first time that you can speak about cardiac arrest and CPR. We have seen not only Roman from London, but also many other young people who were able to check for signs of life and to call the emergency services. So check and call can be done from the age of 4 years on, as I already said, and then with the age of 10 years or maybe 12, they have enough physical power to also do cardiac compressions with 100 to 120 per minute and with 5 to 6 centimeter deep. And these are our first steps. And only at the age of 14 or 16 or maybe 18 years, we also then educate ventilation and the use of an AED, which we are not doing during the pandemic. During the pandemic, we are only teaching check, call, compress, because ventilation is probably a little bit more problematic when you do not know anything about the status about viruses in a cardiac arrest victim.
So, Professor, again, thank you very much for your presentation, for your collaboration, and for your mentoring of this World Restart a Heart. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you very much, Naomi, and thank you very much to all the people who are listening to this webinar. I'm very thankful for all your activities, all your interests, and all your help. And you are all cordially invited to be part of our worldwide activities on and around October 16 this year. So please go to the website of the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation on the ILCO website for any further information about Kids Save Lives and World Restart a Heart. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Naomi. Thank you very much, team. Thank you very much, all. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Podemos encerrar. Contamos com vocês, contamos com a sua multiplicação e um bom dia. Obrigada.
Das ist ja schon total pervers.